On. Boom. There we go. Hey, everybody. Sorry
Hey
about that.
everyone. Hey Mark.
Simon, how you doing, brother?
I am good. I am surviving despite the amazing amount of rain here. It's
Yeah, tell me about that. I heard that
unbelievable.
Australia's gotten like 30 inches of rain or something crazy like
Oh
that.
no, something crazy. Like even overnight, like it seems to be going forever, right? And there's some people who are really having a hard time, and their places are flooded for like the second or third year in a row, and places under sort of 20 feet of water and stuff like that. And there's places in Australia you just can't get to at the moment, which is even more crazy. And I mean, don't want to get too much into it, but I really feel for a lot of those people having a very hard time.
Yeah, I mean,
And near where I live as well. So I'm in Sydney, and a lot of people in the western suburbs of Sydney, sort of northwest as well, by Richmond and Windsor and places like that. And Hawkesbury River, a little bit further north, it's beautiful. But there's been a lot of rain, and so.
How about Brisbane? I know Brisbane is getting like crazy amounts of rain as well.
Yeah, it's been full on all over the East Coast here. It's
Right.
Absolutely unbelievable. But so. But personally, look, it's been going pretty well. Did a couple of gigs. Things have started to come back online, which is great. And even stopped raining for a few hours yesterday. Unfortunately, my wife, who's a singer, actually, she broke her foot, which is a really unfortunate. And so I've been sort of driving her to gigs and doing all the load-ins and all that sort of stuff. But we had a gap in the middle of the day yesterday where actually didn't rain. So I took my son, who's he's about 12 and a half, and we went on one of those sort of adventure park experiences where you're up in the tree and you're harnessed to a wire and you have to walk through the trees. And
Ropes course.
Man, that's full on. It was full on. He was very brave. He was braver than I am.
Did you?
We had a few times where he fell and the harness had to hold him and he has to pull himself up, and it's pretty full on.
Did you do it with him, or did you just?
Yeah, I did. No, I usually would have just done it myself. I would have let him do it himself, but I felt obliged.
Have you ever gone ziplining? And anybody, I see everybody out there, and thank you all for being on tonight. We really do appreciate your time. You guys can answer this too. Have any of you guys ever been ziplining before?
Yeah, so one of those big zip lines we did at the end of the thing. It was like 150 meters. And so you're like 20 meters into it and you're just like, oh my God. And then there's like another 130 meters to go. It was just awesome.
Yeah, I've been ziplining only once, but any of you guys that have done this before know that as you're going, you have to wear these gloves to kind of brake, and your natural tendency is to want to, clutch like that. And if you do that, it can burn right through the gloves. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I've done it once. It was fun. It wasn't anything intense. It was just a place here and just up here in North Georgia. It wasn't like my, my wife has done it in Costa Rica and stuff like that. So
yeah, right. It's fun. It was great.
All right, let's talk 1967. 71 was a tough year to beat. I mean, just so many good albums. Even after we finished the show, I started going through the albums, and really, there's albums that I didn't mention because I'm not really familiar with them. I don't like to mention albums, which brings up a topic. So let's just talk about this briefly. So there's a guy, and I'm not going to say who he is, and he's a nice guy, but he does this show, and his show is about rock music history. And so he does this thing on a year, and he's saying, yeah, and he goes, and this album was the seminal album by this person, and this was her best album. This was a blockbuster. So I want to know, has he really listened to? Because to say stuff like that, not only do you have to be familiar with those albums completely, but if you say somebody's album is their best, you have to be familiar with, well, I would say at least 5 or 6 other important albums by that artist. I mean, that's a pretty, to say that's somebody's best album, because he made that claim about Blue. Everybody says Blue is Joni Mitchell's best album. A lot of people haven't listened to a lot of Joni Mitchell, and I think Court and Spark is her best album. I love Blue. I love every song on Blue. But I think that The Hissing of Summer Lawns is also as good as Blue. So I just think that a lot of times you get a critic that says something. Here's my point. Here's my long-winded point to those of you that are on tonight. getting to my point. I think that somewhere along the way, a critic says, yeah, this is good. And another critic picks up on it. And then people pick up on it. And then you've got a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I mean, now it's somebody's best. And some people don't even take stock and look back and say, why is that so-and-so's best? I wanted to say to him, why is Blue Joni Mitchell's best album? Can you tell me, do you know Little Green? Do you know Carrie? Do you know The Last Time I Saw Richard? Are you familiar with that? Anyway, we're in 1967 now, the summer of love, the year that music really turned a corner, right? I mean, the Beatles turned their corner in 66, but the Beatles are, should be on their own separate category, right? we know that Revolver is of the 67 era, but Beatles put out 2 in 67 plus an incredible single. So tell me about your favorite stuff from 67.
Yeah, so when we first met, Mark, we spoke a lot about different years and sort of stuff, and we put together that 69 versus 71 videos and all that sort of stuff. But I am a big fan of 1967 because there's got this like, I don't know, I've got a kind of feel with 1967, and obviously I wasn't around in 1967, but I feel with 1967 that, like, not that it was the last great British pop year, but there's loads of stuff, and it feels like that, like the sort of 64 to 67 belonged to Britain, and then it sort of switched back to America a bit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and so many great British songs came out in 1967.
Well, it was also kind of the end of the of that innocent, more poppy, less serious type of music. And I think that, like, for instance, I was really surprised that this song is from 67. Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came down in the hollow, playing a new game, laughing and a running, hey, hey, a skipping and a jumping in the misty morning fog. Oh, hearts are thumping, you, my brown-eyed girl, you, my brown-eyed girl. I mean, to think that was from 67, and it came out at the exact same time that this came out. Follow her down to a bridge by a fountain where rocking horse people eat marshmallow pies. Everyone smiles as you drift past the flowers that grow so incredibly high. Newspaper taxis appear on the shore, waiting to take you away. Climb in the back with your head in the clouds and you're gone. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Okay, I was really proud of that last scene there where I auditioned for John and Ringo. So one thing about Simon always brings the soul, brings the funk to the show. He always likes he's in the Soul Messengers. Great band too. If you guys haven't heard them, check them out. What's the you guys have a website? What's the
just soulmessengers.com.au.
Okay, that's the thing.
That's the thing over here.
.com.au.
Yeah, you're talking about
like,
Lucy in the Sky there.
Hey,
what?
Never mind.
So with the Lucy in the Sky, so I wore my 1967 pop T-shirt today. Look,
Small Faces, nice.
Here Comes the Nice. Do you know that song? By
the Small Faces?
Yeah.
I don't. I only know the songs on Ogden's Nut Gone Flake. I have that out.
Oh yeah. So I think that's there's some pretty cool tunes on there. But like the Small Faces, this whole Here Comes the Nice EP, that somehow got through when Lucy in the Sky and Diamonds was banned. Here Comes the Nice gets through when really, some of the lyrics are like, he's always there when I need some speed, for example.
First trivia question here of the night, and we're going to just be doing trivia intermittently here. So, why did the Small Faces change their name to the Faces? All right. I mean, this is a lot of you should know, probably will know this one. Yeah,
Another one of their songs from 1967 is "Talk to You" as well. So, these songs are I love the Small Faces.
Play some good soul from '67, Simon.
So we do some Small Faces. We have Small Faces.
Right,
We got that kind of a lot of this sort of riffage. So yeah. That kind of thing, or "Give Me Some Loving."
Oh, I love that one, right. Spencer Davis. Right.
Hard to play an organ part on the guitar, but and then man, that is just awesome.
Trivia question number 2. What was the other hit by the Spencer Davis Group? They had 3 hits. What was the other big hit they had? They had 3 hits, right? And in the US, they had 3 hits.
Right. Okay. You asking me, or you asking the crowd?
Right. There we go. Janice completed the first question. Ron Wood, right? Ron Wood and Rod Stewart joined the band. Yes. Ron Wood. And last week, if you guys caught that, or maybe you didn't, Ron Wood sings the lead vocals on Ooh La La, on the original studio version of Ooh La La. That is Ron Wood on there. Yep. And Steve Marriott left. Good job. That's right. Exactly right. So what were the other, give me either of the 2 other hits by the Spencer Davis Group. He just did Give Me Some Lovin'. What were the other 2?
Yeah. Sandra got one of them.
Sandra got one. Where was Sandra?
Sandra's got Keep On Running.
That wasn't the one I'm thinking of. Is it? You guys, Sandra is also from.
She's a pommy as well, so that's good.
Yeah, so I'll accept that though. If that was a hit in Britain, then I'll accept that. I'm a man. Yeah, I'm a man. Yeah,
I'm a man.
Are you thinking? Are you confusing the Spencer Davis Group with REO Speedwagon, Sandra? No, I'm just kidding.
I doubt it. Hey, but amazing that Steve Winwood, when he's singing on those things, is like 16 or 17.
Yeah. Well, how about
how can he sound like that and be 16 years old? That's absolutely unbelievable.
Speaking of being 16 years old, what is the greatest? And this is a trivia question here. What is the greatest song that's less than 2 minutes long?
Oh, well, this is easy.
Yeah, it's not Her Majesty. I think For No One just cracks 2 minutes. Anybody? And we segued into it because we were talking about young singers. So this band had a very
singing on this.
16 years old. Yeah. Alex Chilton.
Yeah.
Anybody?
That one, right?
Oh. For Emily, whenever I can find her, wasn't that by the Zombies? Wasn't that a song by the Zombies? Jason pulling out the some of the deep cuts here. Eruption. Yeah, that's right. The Spencer Davis Group. The other big song was Eruption. It's funny when I hear, no, I'm kidding. When I hear I'm a Man, I always, whenever I think of it, I just hear Terry Kath's voice. You guys know the Chicago version. I love Terry Kath, right. that big, thick, husky, amazing voice. You guys know Terry Kath?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I love all those sorts of things, and the Kinks. What is it?
The Forestry Preservation Society came out in '67.
Right.
So So, hey, somebody's got to look this up who's out there. I think that's 68. I think Waterloo Sunset came out on something else from 68, and the album from 67 was
Really?
We Are the Village Green Preservation Society. I think. Yeah, Terry Kath was one of a kind. Certainly one of the more underrated guitar players. He was the band leader too of Chicago. We'll do one on Chicago at one point in time. I love Chicago. I love that period. And really the whole band was so good at that point in time. Thinking that Peter Cetera wasn't even one of the singers at the beginning. Well, he was hired to sing the high harmonies, but mostly he was hired because of his bass playing.
Yes.
So, and who would know that, 20 years later, he would be the, he would be the face of Chicago.
Yeah.
And, Terry died and Robert Lamb just didn't take it. And what was the drummer? What was his name? Danny Seraphin. I think that's his name. Yeah. All right. Give us some other riffs. How about some other riffs? Is anybody fact checking me on 67, 68 with Waterloo Sunset?
I reckon Waterloo Sunset.
We got a crank crowd here.
Pretty good, isn't it?
I love that. Yeah, your guitar always sounds good. Let me see what we got here. That's not a Terry Kath song, so it doesn't segue well. I love that one. Only the beginnings. I don't even know the name of it. All right, so. I had another trivia question. Okay, so there's an album from 67. And this album is usually if you're like me and you like lists, it's usually somewhere in somebody's top 50 albums of all time, and it's always listed in the top 10 of 1960s albums. And I'm going to play a song from this album, just a small part of it. And if anybody can tell me the name of the they can either name the album, the band, or if they name the song, then I'll be really impressed. What is happening and how have you been? Got to go, but I'll see you again. Anybody know? And no, the music is so loud. Anybody? Waterloo Sunset 67. Randy Rowell. Boom. I'm wrong again. Let's X me out here. All right. Was it a single, or did the album Something Else come out in 67 as well? Because I'm fairly certain that was the last song on the Something Else album.
Yeah.
I'm saying this. I'm saying this like I don't have an internet connection. Like I'm just. So let's do this.
I'm always impressed. Mark, that you know all this stuff. I don't know any of the music history or anything around that.
Something Else by the Kinks.
According to Wikipedia, Something Else by the Kinks, often referred to simply as Something Else,
released in September of 1967. So I botched it all. So that should have definitely been on there. That's a great album. So Simon, keep on playing it. Keep on playing it.
Yeah, so something we were talking about was that switch in the pop style kind of thing. But I think that there's also a lot of that soul-y stuff had some pretty big hits in that year. Well, my favorite Aretha song is "Baby I Love You."
Yeah, I think it was when did Stax really start becoming formidable? There was a time like 65-ish, 66,
between 65 and like 68, 9 sort of thing. Because then by 70, it's all about hot buttered soul, right? Or 1971 was that?
What do you classify the Jackson 5 as?
Well, they're Motown, aren't they?
No, I mean I'm just saying, like, where would they fit in the pantheon of styles?
Oh yeah, they're not really for me.
I don't know. I wasn't trying to contradict you. I was just asking.
I don't know. Like, they got some good tunes. They're a pop band, really, aren't they? But it's like that. I think everything was pop until 1967, and then you kind of had this.
Here's one for you guys. So I've been on this Carole King kick lately, and I'm sure she wrote a hit from 67. So that's my 6 degrees of separation. So how many songs did Carole King write or co-write that made the top 100 Billboard? So, there's a lot of latitude there because it's top 100. But how many songs do you think she's the most successful songwriter in history, male or female? As far as, if you rate it like that.
Yeah.
But this number is staggering. I couldn't believe it when I saw the number. Anybody want to venture a guess?
Lots, I reckon. How about some thinking music? I play one of those soul tunes.
Yeah. Go for it.
How's it go? We get to play it, Steve.
Is that Steve Cropper on all those?
Yeah.
All those Stack songs? Oh, yeah. Sounds good. Keep going. Keep going. That sounds great. Why don't you show us? Just about everybody on here plays guitar. Why don't you give us a quick lesson on that one? Give us a quick lesson on that one.
Well, it's interesting. So it's funny. I often talk about this in lessons when I talk to people about caged. So caged is basically a system whereby kind of how the guitar works, right? So that's 5 major chords: C, this way, C, A, G, E, and D, right? And you can move those guitars by effectively barring them. So you get like C, A shape, G shape, E shape, D shape. And obviously those were all C major chords. They just move, right? And there are so many great songs that basically just have 1 chord or 2 chords, and how that sounds different is they move the chord, the position of the chord. So that Soul Man, where he's playing G, and then he plays G, and then like a top of a C6, and then back to G. You can get G at the bottom, on the 3rd fret, and then a G at the 7th fret, and then that C6, and then G.
Like that?
Yeah, kind of like that. So
This
you get
even the
G, G, C, G, 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 C, G. Right? And imagine if you had that song just going. It's boring. So
go ahead.
It's kind of cool. So that's a really good example of going G, G. Simple. Like Substitute by The Who.
There's a
D, D.
Yeah, there's a what's the song by Tom Petty? The was it? Last Dance with Mary Jane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And there's a riff in there where the last riff is, he plays the A minor, plays the A minor, plays the A minor, plays the A minor, up here. Where is it? And he literally goes like that. Oh, he does.
And it's actually in a lot of the Traveling Wilburys stuff. I don't know much Tom Petty stuff, but the Traveling Wilburys stuff, there's one of those tunes that has kind of that kind of thing going on as well. So maybe he came up with that bit.
So here's the answer, people. 118.
118 hits.
118. Yeah, and if you guys have like 30 minutes, I'll tell you, there's a concert on YouTube. Turn it on after we're done, obviously. No, there's a concert on YouTube of Carole King playing. I think it's a BBC show, and James Taylor comes out and plays a song with her, and Danny Korchmar, who I think a lot of you know, Cooch, plays a song with her, and she just it literally sounds like they're playing Tapestry in the background, and she's just lip syncing it. It's phenomenal. It's mostly just her and her voice, but she does. She starts off with I Feel the Earth Move. She does So Far Away.
Yeah.
She does Smackwater Jack. She does You've Got a Friend. She does a great version of You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. And she closes with Up on the Roof. A lot of people don't know that that she and her husband, or her husband, when she was young, Jerry Goffin, they wrote the song Up on the Roof.
Yeah.
One of my
she's got so many hits, man.
Yeah. So Diane
Well,
Warren
certainly.
too, right? Diane Warren's written a lot of the songwriting mill thing.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast the other day. It's called Broken Record, I think. It's with famous record producer Run DMC guy. Then he did the Beastie Boys, and then he did
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin, yeah. And he did an interview with Diane Warren, and it's really, I mean, whether you like her songs or not, like, it's really interesting to hear her sort of experience of her music career. It's absolutely unbelievable. Really, really great. I mean, she's written a lot of hits.
Yeah, probably similar amount. So here's a question. Somebody mentioned Jeff Lynne. So here's my next trivia question. The band that Jeff Lynne was in before ELO only had one hit in America, and it was a very minor hit. I believe it hit in like the 70s. You guys can fact check me on this too. I seem to be wrong all the time lately. So does anybody want? Yeah, she wrote for the Brill Building. That's right. For those of you that don't know what the Brill Building is, it's a building in New York where people would go in and basically like a 9-to-5 job. They'd go in there and they would write songs all day long. Neil Diamond was employed by them, and Carole King and Jerry Goffin and Boyce and Hart. What are their first names? Is it Tommy Boyce and I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, so anyway, that Carole King concert is phenomenal. And The Move is the band, right? And what was the one song that they had that was a minor hit in the US? I know they had several hits in
Jeff Lynne was in The Move. There you go.
Yeah, Jeff Lynne, yeah. And Roy Wood. Those were the two guys.
Yeah, right.
Bobby Hart. Okay. So what was Boyce's name? I thought it was Tommy Boyce. Is that like am I getting Mickey Boyce? I'm getting it mixed up with like the middle linebacker for the Dolphins in the early 70s or something like that. I have my sports and I have my
Flowers in the Rain.
Yeah. So
wow, Sandra killing it today.
Flowers in the Rain?
Yeah.
Was that a hit?
Was that the first record played on Radio 1, Sandra?
Not over here. The only song over here, and you guys can check this out, was the song Blackberry Way. So
Blackberry Way. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
okay.
That was the only one. So
there you go. I love doing these shows. I always learn something.
67. What were the Who doing in 67? The Who were doing the Who Sell Out, right? Which has the last track on that was the beginning of the little mini opera that Pete Townsend would extend to make Tommy in 69. And the Stones were trying their hand at psychedelia. And we know that didn't work out very well, right? Her Majesty, her Satanic Majesty's Request. Yeah. Luckily, they followed up by just the Stones. They went in the zone after that, right? I mean, they went Beggar's Banquet and Let It Bleed and Exile on Main Street and Sticky Fingers. I mean, they just crushed it, after that for about 5 or 6 years. You see, Tommy Boyce. Is that right? Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart. Was that right? Is Bobby is the female, and I was right about Tommy?
That's what Rick says.
All right.
Hey, so we spoke about sort of the pop music, and then into the great British hits of the era, then into some soul stuff, and then we also mentioned about the sort of beginning of the psychedelia, right? And there's 2 massive hits in this year around that sort of guitar band psychedelia.
Yeah, make it a trivia question because I love my trivia. I'm warming up here. Good. All right.
I'll make it a trivia question.
Yeah. So
you're the trivia man. You know which 2 songs I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I already know. That's no fun. All right. There were 2 big songs in 67. That's it. That's the only hint. There were 2 big songs in 67. I mean, really?
From guitar bands.
From guitar bands. Okay. So Sunshine of Your Love.
Yeah.
And Purple Haze.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's just what a riff.
Play it. always get a great sound. Oh, I love that sound. I've learned to play guitar. The cool thing is I've learned to play guitar with my finger.
I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. And though the news was rather sad, well, I just had to laugh. I saw the photograph. He blew his mind out in a car. He didn't notice that the lights had changed. A crowd of people stood and stared. They'd seen his face before, but nobody was really sure if he was from the House of Lords. I saw a film today, oh boy. The English army had just won the war. A crowd of people turned away, but I just had to look. Having read the book, I love to tell you how. Woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. Found my way upstairs and drank a cup. And looking up, I noticed I was late. Found my coat and grabbed my hat. Made the bus in seconds flat.
All right, enough of that.
That was great, man.
Yeah, rock and roll. Well, it was pre-recorded, so.
I love it.
I got caught him with his pants down. All right, I'll play a little live music here.
I was just reading. I was just trying to be clever and play a bit of Sgt. Pepper's, but I was trying to learn it at the same time, and in my head whilst that was playing.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. Living is easy with eyes closed. Misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me. All right, I gotta play just one more part, see if I can get these notes right. Yeah, do that fast. All right, not too bad. I don't know
How about
here, but
there's another one, right?
I want to hear Simon sing. We know he's singing.
Nobody wants to hear that. Now, how about this?
Purple Haze, right?
No, the other one.
Oh, awesome. This is going to be great. So
I love that.
Yeah, the
That is
best
just-
part about your playing there, and a lot of my students that are, some of them that are in the intermediate, advanced, early advanced stage, that'd be a great example of just how you're so locked into. There's a very subtle swing to that song, and that's really the key to it. And Simon really, if any of you watch the replay, you should really listen to the way that he kind of swings it a little bit. It really sounds great. You were totally locked in there. I was,
and the thing is that, like, I've played that song a lot in my teens, and the thing I love the most about it when I first discovered Jimi Hendrix is how he just plays guitar. Because you often I'm at a barbecue or something, and because kid knows their kids, and you get invited to place, and they go, "Oh, what do you do?" And I say, "Well, I guitar player." And they go, "Yeah, what do you really do for a job?" And I was like,
yeah, same thing here. Sure. Yeah.
I really am a guitar player. And they go, "Oh yeah, so what do you do? Do you play lead guitar or do you play rhythm guitar?" And it's like, that's the awesome thing about Jimi Hendrix, because he just plays guitar. Like in there, he's going, the chords in that thing are simple, man. E minor, G, A minor, E, B minor, A minor. Right.
That song's all about the feel. Yeah, the song. Although the progression is
way, we end up talking about Cage again, but the way he, and then there's a G, A minor. I probably didn't play it exactly right, but
the feel was fantastic. Good call there, Zach. Yeah.
And then the G, and then B minor, puts a 9 on top. A minor 7 with a 9 on top. And then G.
A minor 7.
And that open G is so beautiful.
It's almost like,
just
G,
so good. G, and an A. This is like a G5 add 9. But then moves it. It's just killer. And the thing is, there's what the other great thing about when you really get into the guts of some of the great guitar players is you realize that there's something I would always am nervous of, is like, oh my God, I did the same thing again. I can't keep doing the same thing. But there's a lot of great guitar players who have their things and they did them again. Like you think of like, Castle's made of sand, right?
Let me give you a great example.
Exactly the same kind of chord.
So when I made my first album, we had, I'm not going to get into all the, I don't like to tell high school. It's basically like telling high school sports stories. Anyway, the first album I had written all but one of the songs on the album, but it had been, 10 years of writing. So different styles and periods. And I thought it was so great because it was so diverse. And it was the worst thing about it. They're like, what's your style? This is hard rock. This is light rock. This sounds like Hootie and the Blowfish. This sounds like Lenny Kravitz. And this sounds like Iron Maiden. It was just, and it really hindered us. So, to have Hendrix for sure within his style, which was so unique, but I'll tell you what I do. I get the same stuff when people, they'll kind of scoff, oh, you're a musician. Sometimes people will ask me too, do you play lead guitar or do you play rhythm guitar? And honest to goodness, this is what I say to them. I go, actually, believe it or not, it's pronounced lead. It's rhythm guitar and lead guitar. And I am the lead guitarist for my band. I literally just stay there and I look at them dead serious and, I'll walk away. Today at a soccer game, somebody asked me, what do you do? I said, I'm a musician. They're like, what school do you teach at? And I'm like, the School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, so that whole 1967 thing, this has got lots of different types of music in it, I think, and the sort of you have the kernel of pop music, and then suddenly things start really diversifying, I guess.
Yeah, what song I love? I just popped into my head. And Zach, again, Days of Future Past is great. It's such a good album. Again, very, very pushing the envelope forward with the orchestration. But the song Monterey by Eric Burden and the Animals, that song, the beginning and the part that really grooves on that, people came and listened, some of them came to play down at Monterey, right? That part is so good. but then he ruins it with that whole nonsense in the middle. You know, that the Grateful Dead blew everybody's mind, and he has to like name every band that played there. It really. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to load that into one of my editors tonight. I'm going to cut all that out and just make my version of Monterey. It'll be like 2 minutes long. They didn't need all that nonsense in the middle. All right, we're going to wrap up soon tonight. We're going to wrap up. We're going to start trying to streamline this a little bit more. But let me see. Hootie and the Blowfish is great, I think. Yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish. So one more thing. So Hootie and the Blowfish took a lot of heat for quote unquote selling out for the content of their second album. So let me ask you something. Why is it in music? Why is like music in sports the only things where you can't take the best offer? Like people will get down, you can't write a song that's not that's not of whatever that somebody expects. If you do something different or you do a duet with somebody, but it's going to make a lot of money. Like you're not allowed to make money as a musician. Same thing in sports. If a guy leaves a team, that they're like traitor, right? Now, let's say your day job, let's say you work for IBM and HP offered you a job for 3 times the money. Like you wouldn't go take it? Would you be like, well, no, it's just a couple of professions are the only ones that where people anyway, so Hootie and the Blowfish, they said they sold out. I mean, if anybody knows their history, they were playing the bar scene in South Carolina, in the North and South Carolina region, I can't speak, for years and years before they finally, were able to break out. So none of these guys are overnight sensations, so let them enjoy the success. The only thing I don't like is when somebody puts a second album out and they're like, like Eddie Vedder's like, man, I wish I could go back and just pump gas again. Now, I love Eddie Vedder's voice and he's a decent dude. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, if you want to go pump gas, go pump gas. You can.
Yeah. Just put a new record out. Did you hear that yet?
No, is it good?
Yeah, I quite like it. Yeah, I like him.
I love.
Anyway,
The Fixer is a great song, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got great songs.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap up. Did we forget anything? Let's have our Let
me have a look at my little list I made. No, I covered all the songs I wanted to talk about. Wider Shade of Pale is the only one.
Oh yeah, I was going to sing Wider Shade of Pale, but I'll do that next week.
Next time we do a show on 1967.
Yeah. All right, so last thing. So let's do this. We'll do audience picks. So whatever gets the most votes, what year would you like to see next? Boom, put it out there. You have 1 minute, and then we are off. Oh, you know what? I'm going to play for 30 seconds while you're doing this. We're going to do one last thing here. I wanted to play a clip of one of my mom who passed away a few years ago. This was her favorite movie and one of my favorite movies too. So I'm just going to play a little clip from it. This was the best picture of 1967.
In the heat of the night. Seems like a...
What's that make him?
Innocent.
I got the motive, which is money, and the body, which is dead.
You're holding the wrong man.
But don't you push me, boy!
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
What kind of people are you?
I did the editing on that. So that wasn't like a trailer. I cut that up. So if you guys like that, and you need
very clever.
Here we go.
How good is the song at the beginning of that? What song is that, In the Heat of the Night? I don't know that song.
Charles song. He wrote that for the movie. Yeah. Orville. We did 1971 already. We covered that.
Two songs. Those two chord songs. Look, In the Heat of the That kind of thing. I just love that kind of music. All that kind of nonsense.
Right now we've got 2 votes for 1976, but
1976.
Okay. So we'll do 1976 next week.
Okay.
And that's a good year for the 12 string. And then the week 2 weeks after that, we're going to visit the 80s. We need a little time, and we're going to do Dennis's suggestion because a bunch of people have mentioned to me that the only year that could rival 71 is 84. And I have no idea why. And I can't even imagine how that could possibly be. Right now, I can't think of any album that came out in 84. What albums came out in 84? I don't even know. I can't think of one right now.
When Doves Cry. Purple Rain came out in 1984.
Purple Rain came out in 84, yeah. But anyway, I don't know how it could possibly be. But 76 next week. Definitely
The
do
Works
76
by
next week.
Queen came out in 1974. It's 1984, I think.
A Night at the Opera, was that 75 or 76? I think that was 75.
75.
A Day at the Races, 76, probably then, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
maybe.
right. Everybody, be safe, be careful. We will see you in 2 weeks. We really appreciate your time. Can't say that enough. And if you
Come visit me over at my channel at Simon Morel Guitar if
make
you're
sure
not already subscribed. Talking about 1976, did that Zeppelin album come out? The one we were talking about the other day, not Houses of Holy.
Presents came out in 76.
Presents 76.
Yeah.
So I did a lesson this weekend on my channel on 10 Years Gone by Led Zeppelin.
Great one, great song. Yeah.
So go and check that out. I go through all the rhythm parts. The tabs are on the screen, all that kind of stuff.
One, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's a really cool riff.
If you guys are looking to learn songs, Simon does it. He does it really aimed at, I would say, like advanced beginners to kind of middle intermediates, where he goes right through it. There is some expectation that you do know a little bit of music, but you don't have to sit there and you're not coddled. But at the same token, it's not super fast where you just can't see what's going on.
And that pause button is really good.
Like my lessons are like, Spirit of Radio, you just do that, I mean, come on. Anyway. All right. Night all. Take care. Be safe.
See you, everyone. Bye.